Then again, if it was me and you, and we were mic'd up all the times we went to the tocadas, like me, you, and Vichis, I think even for those 35-minute drive, I think we would have gone viral.
We would have gotten canceled by
We
now.
would have got canceled, shot, FBI raided, something.
Somebody would have fucking labeled me as a serial killer or something. I don't know.
At this point, man, I mean, people are getting famous left and right. But on the topic with the fame, I think we were talking about it earlier. Would you? It's interesting because like people always will say they want to be famous, right? Fame, 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 fame. But then again, there's a difference between fame and being rich, like fame and wealth. What are the two difference in your opinion, and like what would you prefer to be, famous or wealthy?
I'd prefer to be wealthy, just because fame has a very, like if you had to just pick one, right?
Yeah.
And I hate when I ask people this and they tell me, oh well, if I'm famous, I could just be rich. Well, let's just pretend for some magical weird force you can only be one or the other. You cannot have both the apple and the orange. You can only have one, and there's something magical that prevents you from tasting the other side of the aisle. I would rather be rich, like, because being famous, like, is great. It's great and all, but at the end of the day, the only people that really care about you, like for real, are the people closest to you. Like the people closest to you, your friends, family. And when you're famous, a lot of people just want to be part of it because you have something going for you,
Well, imagine it's how sad it is if you're famous. Let's just say you go viral 20 times in a row.
Yeah.
But there's no money coming in, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's just say you're on the train and you barely have $5 to rub together.
Yeah.
But then everyone's like cheering you on because of what you've done, right?
Yeah, like that's kind of what it feels like. Because, dude, I have videos or posts that I've put up that have hit millions.
Uh-huh.
I have other pages that have hit millions, but where's my money?
Yeah.
Where's my money? There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Dude, I have posts that go viral on Facebook, and I can get paid off Facebook posts, and then they gave me like $1 for it. And I'm like,
Facebook pays well.
I don't know. Facebook just hates me. I don't know.
On one post, I had like I post like 3 just to test it out, and I got like 4 or 5 likes.
Yeah.
But off the 3 posts, when I look at the metric, it was just like $13. But just off those 3 posts that didn't perform well at all, and then like you get money now monetized on stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you realize that now too.
Yeah, I get paid for stories. I get paid for reels, videos. Everything I post, I get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember I had a post that I shared, and it got like, was it 40,000? It reached like 40,000 people.
Wow.
Or more at this point. I don't know. Like, that was the last time I checked it. And it got a bunch of shares. It got a bunch of comments, a bunch of reactions. $1.14
Off of that post.
Yeah.
Was it a reshare? You shared it? Your original one.
Yeah. Original. It was a quote. Like, I always post quotes, and then sometimes I post videos, but the quotes tend to perform the best for my page for some reason. But like, I've had posts with less reach pay more than that post, and it's crazy that one hit like 40,000 people, and I got paid $1.14.
Well, we gotta call Mark Zuckerberg or something, dude. They're finessing something, dude.
I was getting finessed, bro.
They give you crumbs for like just a random post, but when you actually hit viral, bro, they're like, nah, you're not gonna get paid, bro.
You ain't getting paid.
No. Dude, that's fucking whack. No, I mean, with the money thing right now, I mean, everyone I feel like is trying to be like an influencer now. The word's thrown out there, influencer, right?
Yeah.
And there's a difference of content creator. Well, now in Chicago, I feel like everyone in school wants to be a YouTuber, influencer, or some sort of content creator, which is not bad. I don't think so, because you have to evolve, right?
I think it changed social media. Like, right now, we're no longer living in the influencer era, because everyone's an influencer now. So that's why these platforms are switching from like follower based platforms to interest based platforms. So now you can have 1 million followers and still only get 1,000 views on your video.
Yep.
Because it's all about interests now.
I saw this in Gary Vee where it's just like followers doesn't mean anything anymore. Not as much. It does, but not as much as before.
Yeah.
Like a status.
Right.
Like you just said, like you can get 1 million. You have 1 million followers, but then getting like 1,000 like views. That's his interest, right?
And it's happening the opposite now. So I mean, I know people, and it's happened to me too, where I post something, hit 1 million, 2 million views, and you don't get any followers from those posts. But my views, like the posts that have just a couple 100,000 views, those are giving me followers constantly every single day.
Right.
So it's like, it's kind of weird. Some videos get you a ton of views, but no real followers.
Well, that's the thing I was telling you about TikTok Shop, dude. Like, I got a couple buddies that have less than 1,000 followers, but have a TikTok Shop connected to something else.
Yeah.
But it's like a search engine, so they're making like thousands of dollars with less than 1,000 followers.
I keep seeing that over and over again. A lot of people are saying that under 1,000 followers, people are making like $4,000 to $5,000 a month on TikTok Shop. But obviously, you got to put the work in because you got to post every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day, and post that product every single day.
Yeah.
And your friends are gonna probably make fun of you. Oh, look at him trying to sell something. Well, who gives a F, because it's my money and I need it now.
Well, I feel like now it's being more accepted. So there's one thing that does get me upset, and it's me being butthurt about it, right? Because I'm just like, I wanted to be an interviewer at Sueños. I did not get accepted, right? And I see like the same over interviewers all the time at Sueños, and personally, they suck. All right, I'm just gonna say it off the bat. Like most of these interviewers that I see repeated, they're not really good.
They say the same questions that everyone else says.
Same questions, and I feel like they only call themselves an interviewer on big events. But I'm like, when are you going to be an interviewer when that event's over? Right? Because right now there's no Sueños, right?
Right.
Oh, right now I'm doing a podcast, and tomorrow if someone tells me to go interview someone, I'm going to do it.
You can do it.
Like what? And even as an influencer too, if you want to make content, you call yourself a content creator, but you're only doing it for big events.
Right.
So I'm just like, if that's your niche, I respect it. But most of the people are just doing stuff during big events, and I'm just like, what happens when there's no big events? What happens when it's just a normal day? Like, are you still gonna do you have enough passion for something that much to go pick up a mic and go interview a random person?
Right.
So it's just, for me, I'm a little butthurt about that, because I'm just like, I see all these Chicagoans saying, oh yeah, I'm an influencer, I'm an interviewer. I'm just like, you're an interviewer just for the week of that Sueños, and then afterwards the content.
And after that, back to skits,
or
whatever.
Not even
or
it's
whatever.
Inconsistency. Yeah, I just see inconsistency, and that for me, I'm just like, why aren't these big? It's like for the grupos también. I'm just like, it's like no hate for any grupos, but it's the same thing for interviewers. I'm just like, why am I seeing the same grupos over and over again on the same cover and the same promoting page? I'm like, give the little ones a try, bro. Like, come on. Like, sabes no jalan, pero come on.
I think at the end of the day, it's all about. I think this applies to everything in life, but it's all about just how you apply yourself. Because I know they told you no, but like, if you basically take it as like, okay, and like at least like from what the way I view things is, everything's your own fault.
Yeah.
If a car hits you when you were crossing and it was a red light for them, it's still your fault. All right, just assume it's your fault. Don't tell the insurance that, right?
Yeah.
But it's still your fault because you didn't pay attention or you didn't do this or whatever. There, you can always change your outcome. So I'm not saying it's your fault, but it is your fault.
My fault.
But take it as your own fault. Like, okay, I didn't try enough. I didn't talk to the right person. I didn't apply myself correctly. So if you really want to get in somewhere, you can get in there. Like, it's all like everything. Every business is a people business. So you have to get in there. Those influencers, they got in somehow, some way, because they probably knew somebody that recommended them and said, oh, yeah, let him in. So that way he gets a free pass to get in, and then he can interview a couple people and then go and get drunk.
True.
Or whatever. Like, I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm not pointing anyone out specifically, all right? Don't, if it corresponds to somebody, bro, get your act together. Go interview for real.
No, but you're right. Yeah, everything at the end of the day is your fault. Well, my fault essentially. I probably didn't connect with the right people or ask the right connections at the time.
Or yeah, and that was another thing. Maybe if you would have gone a little more ahead of time, you could, like, as soon as it was announced, like, that's when I would be like, boom, okay, I need to talk to this guy right now, because it just got announced months before, and they'll probably tell you, oh, well, we're not taking applications till this time. I would still bug him every single day, because you know what? Like, back when I was, and it's not exactly the same thing, but I was working at a dealership as like a porter, and I wanted to become a salesman so bad that I told them, hey, I want to be a salesman. Dude, for a month straight, I just kept telling them. They're like, yeah, just hold on, we'll let you know. And they kept telling me, yo, we'll let you know. And I just kept bugging him. Come on, man, I could have made that sale. I could have made more money than him, I was bugging them, and then next thing you know, they were like, okay, fine. on Monday, come dressed up. And they brought me in on Monday as a salesman.
Like you were consistent.
Yeah, just consistently bugging them until they got me in. And the next thing you know, I got in, first customer, I made my first sale, and it all worked out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is. I guess you could say my fault. Pretty much, I could have just tried a little bit harder. I mean, I'm butthurt about it just because I'm just like, damn, like I really thought like I earned some stripes actually to get like a little recognition of like what I've done. But I'm like, okay, like you know,
Right.
one close door,
Everyone's time will come.
Yeah,
You know, and especially like another thing is from what I've heard, right? That Sueños was kind of whack this year, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, or I don't know what it is. People were just saying that the crowd wasn't vibing, or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Bro, there was no so you could have brought a gun in, no one would have noticed. Dude, it's the first time where the check, like literally going in and checking in, was less than 10 minutes. Out of all the festivals I've been going since 15.
That was
so it's like
fast.
10 years, yeah. Last year's, I think aftermarket, I paid $350 for the Swinger Pass. The year before that was like $400. This is people reselling because I always get last minute because I'm stupid. I got it for $280 this year.
No shit.
So I thought I got a steal.
Yeah.
We went there, bro.
It was dead.
It was dead. The lie wasn't there. And to be honest, bro, I think I'm at that age where I'm just like, I've been to so many festivals, and now the past year traveling with you guys, I've met like a lot of cool people, like actual celebridades. Like, bro, we've actually we got
real
real
people.
Yeah, real people. Well, we met Belinda. We didn't know that was Belinda.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
We were in the corner, and then
I was like, who's this little tiny little chick? Get out the way.
yeah, and then Tony Rocks was like, esa fue Belinda. O no sé qué. I'm like, bro, I couldn't even tell you like what.
I'm like, this little demon right here is the one que está volviendo loco todos estos güeyes.
Agavito, Natael, who else? They're like breaking everyone's heart.
What's his name?
Lisa Nodal.
Cristian Nodal. That was,
Man, I'm crazy, bro.
bro. I'm like, this little demon did that. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, like we were like Tito Doble P, and then just everyone, and even when we were in the Content House, bro, like with Blake and all them.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like when I'm going this time, when I was looking at the stage, I'm just like, first of all, I'm really praising someone else and spending this money, and I'm just drinking, so I get nothing out of it. Second, I'm just like, I don't know, man. I think I'm just getting too old for this. I'm just like, I don't know. It was, the vibe wasn't there. And second, I'm just like, I'm just spending money overpriced, bro. Like the drinks were $20.
I think what you were really missing was having your boys. Because to be honest, whether it's packed or it's empty, if you're by yourself, you're not gonna have as much fun as when you're with your boys or your squad. You know.
True.
So I think that's what I think that also affected it. If you went with the squad,
True.
you would have had a little more fun.
I mean, I want to say yes, 100%, because this is also the environment.
Yeah.
But also too, it's just like in the moment where I'm just like, I don't know if this doesn't sound like just cocky, because I'm just like, at the end of the day, these people are human.
Right.
So that's why I'm just like, I don't know if it's because I've met already a lot of these people in person, or at least went to all these events to the point where I'm just like, we all bleed, we all something. So I'm like, I'm done. Like, I don't know. I guess like, don't fanboy.
You know what the best way I see it, and this is the way I see it, is that we are on this side of the business, so we understand like what it takes to make it, and like I don't know what it is, but when you're in the back room, it's not the same being in the front, because you know what the back end looks like. You've been there and you've worked it and everything, so it almost feels kind of weird to be in the front end, like,
Yeah.
you know, sitting in front listening. It's kind of like a football player sitting in the benches watching everyone play the game. Like, put me in, coach, you know?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean.
That's how I feel whenever I go to a baile or a festival or a concert, whatever. I sit there like, man, I want to play. Like, I can't sit there and just watch and enjoy it. I feel like I need to go up. I need to go up there and I need to play. I don't feel comfortable down here anymore. Like, it's not no es por presumido ni nada, but it's just hasta me da ansiedad, like hearing the music and not being able to play. Yeah.
Do you miss music?
Well, I mean, I'm still playing, but it's a little different. But like right now, like I told you, man, like I'd rather be a millionaire than famous. So I'm just kind of focusing on the business end right now of my life, so that I don't have to worry about money when I go play. I'm tired of playing for the money. Like I've been doing a lot of it for the money, and I want to get that part out of there.
So you've had already like half a decade in action or real grupo, like actually taking off. Like I want to say you guys are very familiar in the Chicago area and outside of Chicago because we've traveled. So for new musicos coming in just for the money, one, is the money really there in la música based off your experience already?
The money's there. Like people need grupos for their parties, for whatever. And it's a whole different experience. Like I don't know if you've had a birthday party with the grupo yet, but it's huge. Like it's a huge difference from having just music playing on an iPod or whatever to having a whole grupo playing in your party. Like the vibes are just different. The energy is different, and it's more badass. Like to be honest, like I'll go to somebody's birthday party or something, and we have a grupo there. Man, like it feels great. Like that's where I don't mind listening when I'm with the boys and we're just listening to the music or something. And and even then, I still jump in and grab the guitar or something. Oh, here, let me play a song, because my drunk ass doesn't know how to relax.
I mean, and then again, it's just like something like it's just your sixth sense, bro. That's part of you. Music's gonna be a part of you regardless of that.
Yeah.
But it's just like I asked that because I'm just like a lot of musicos. Oh, a lot of people in general just do it for the money, right?
Yeah.
In música or not, right? We'll just put it simple as that.
There's plenty of money in it too. So
In the Chicago area, though, at least.
no, and just in general, I mean, if you go to Mexico, people do it as a career. It's an actual career path.
I asked that because in California, you know how it's so saturated.
Oh yeah.
Y no pagan bien, based off like when we were having our discussion over there with the other people, like managers and other músicos.
Yeah.
They're getting paid, ¿cuánto? Like 300, 400 la hora. Y you don't even get that much gigs compared to Chicago.
It's a little different out there. I think the market, that every market's different. No matter where you go, if you go to New York, you're not even gonna get paid that because there's not a lot of Mexicans.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your market and everything. You just gotta learn how to structure it. But one thing I realized, like, okay, yeah, they charge cheaper, but the reason they charge cheaper is because they have a mandatory minimum of like 4 hours. So with the mandatory minimum of 4 hours, because traffic in LA is chalked, like we're talking, dude, when we were in that, and what was it, in the Meraz house? Saludos al compa Meraz. Meraz Music. But when we were at the Meraz house and we had to go all the way to San Bernardino,
Wait, was that for La Tierra, right? No, that was Rodeo, right?
that was
Rodeo.
I forgot which one it was. It was Modesto or no Moreno Valley.
Yeah. So
When we went to Moreno Valley, my bad. When we went from the Meraz house all the way to Moreno Valley, bro, dude, that we took like 2 hours and a half to get there, bro.
in the van, bro.
So imagine you live over here, you have to go all the way across for a gig. You're like, I'm gonna drive 2 hours and a half and 2 hours and a half back. That's 5 hours of driving. With 5 hours of driving, I'm not gonna go play for 2 hours, bro. We're gonna do our 4 hours. Like I can see that. Like some of them have a minimum of 4 or 5 hours.
Makes sense.
So it's a lot different because now you're staying in one place for longer. I mean, I don't know enough about the music game over there in LA, but that's kind of what I took from it. Like, okay, yeah, they charge cheaper, but because they force you to buy more hours up front. Versus here, like, dude, you can get a grupo for 2 hours, and even sometimes they'll be willing to go for 1 hour. But that's because everything's a lot faster to get to here. It's like you'll get around in about an hour.
So what's the average, I guess you could say, hour time that people pay for? Like salary here for musical?
It just really depends, bro, because it's like your own business. You can make $1,000 in a year, or you can make $100,000 in a year plus.
No. I'm saying like if someone wanted to book a gig, like a starting point, like if I wanted to create a banda today, a grupo.
Yeah.
What's the average, or what's like the starting point? That's the average cost people be charging for an hour or two.
I think the best baseline to know like this is the minimum is you go to like, well, I know most people don't. There's a lot of younger generational people that don't. But if you go to like a Marisco's place, they have the little grupos that go and play for money. And typically those guys, those will be your baseline. And so like let's say you go to La Costa or whatever, and you got like the three old guys playing with the accordion bajo quinta and the tololoche or whatever. Like those guys will charge you 450, 500 an hour. And that's basically your baseline. Like, okay, you can get the viejitos for this price, or you can get us. You know, so like that's kind of like it's almost like they set the minimum wage there. You know, but we're talking like the same type of grupo, you know, like three instruments, but like it just goes up from there.
So what is the worst gig to actually get as a músico, just based on your experience? Something where you're just like, no pagan bien.
Oh, dude, the club gigs where like and it's always a bad sign. I always tell everybody, I'm like, it's a bad sign when they tell you, oh, share our flyer. When the place is making a baile, and they're constantly telling you, share the flyer, share the flyer. When they constantly message you, share the flyer every single day. Like, I understand that you're hiring me, and also like, I gotta promote that I'm gonna go there or whatever, like, you know, so people can go. But I'm not your only promotion group. So if you're not promoting, so you're kind of like expecting me to promote for you, that just tells me you're probably lazy, and there's gonna be nobody there. Cause like I can share it, but if nobody in your area knows me, there's no point. If all my fans are in a different area,
right.
So like if we get hired somewhere and they're like, oh, just share a flyer every day, share it every day, that's a bad sign, because it just tells me that they're probably not good at promoting, and it's probably gonna go bad, and then they're gonna be like, oh, se canceló, or we show up and they don't wanna pay full or something like that.
But you guys are selling for the tickets, or you guys are just selling? Or you guys get
No, that's just like they just hire us to go play for an hour. Like, there's a lot of restaurants, little places that make events, and but they just they just pay us for an hour or whatever, you know, or however much time they want us for. But the problem is, if they're not good at promoting, like when they tell, that's what happens. They always ask you, hey, can you share our flyer? Can you share our flyer? And like every single day or very consistently asking you to share it, it's just a bad sign, because that means they're not good at promoting. They think that you have to promote for them, and that it usually ends up bad. It usually ends, oh, it's canceled.
So what's the best way to make money as a músico now? Now, since you've already had experience over time and social media has...
I mean, tocando, bro. Just get gigs and work. A lot of people don't want to take gigs because they're like, oh, but I want to get famous first, or like I want people to know me first. Like, no, the people are gonna get to know you by networking. So like, if you go play at somebody's quinceañera, everyone's gonna see you, and then someone else is gonna be like, oh, they played good. They'll recommend you to somebody else. You become like a disease, like an infectious disease. You just create a network of people that all know you and want to hire you. So being out there and tocando is gonna get you further along than just sitting on Facebook posting, or Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Like, obviously, you still need to do both.
Right.
You need to post, but you also need money to finance your endeavor.
Do you think covers are actually necessary to blow up and to be famous? In your opinion, do you think covers are necessary?
Not to be famous.
Or to blow up, to, you know?
No, I don't think they're necessary, but they are necessary if you want to learn how to play and actually make money while you're not famous. So if you want to make money playing locally, playing at gigs, playing everywhere, you need covers. But if you want to blow up and get famous, to be honest, your best bet is writing your own music. Because if everyone else has a cover of La Chona or El Centenario, like the classic songs, what's going to make someone go and listen to your version when there's 1,000 other versions?
Right.
Like, they're going to go for the best version, and the best version, or maybe not even the best version, they're just going to go for the version that Peso Pluma did, because he's famous already. Or somebody else, whatever. If somebody else that's bigger than you makes that cover, everyone's going to go to that one.
So what is the biggest myth as a músico that everyone assumes that you guys do the most? What's it called? Misconception, the life of a músico.
I don't know. I guess
because the number one thing is like ganan todas las viejas. But I always see like mostly the drunk men requesting songs. They're like, yo, bro, play this one, play this one, play this one.
I mean, there's some musicals there's some thoughts.
Oh no, there's thoughts, bro, for sure.
You know,
Marion wants that, man. I think we seen those in Las Vegas.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then there's also a lot of musicals that don't even go out, that don't even involve themselves in everything. But I think the biggest misconception is that they think all musicals do drugs and alcohol. And like that's the one that's kind of annoying to me sometimes, because there's days I don't want to drink and they want to force me to drink.
Part of the show.
Yeah. Or like sometimes I'll go to parties and, actually I'll always go to parties or to places and there's always some dude that comes near me. ¿Quieres un pase? ¿Quieres un pase? I'm like, bro, chill. All right. Like, I get that maybe in the 90s they did that, in the 80s, 90s, but we're in 2025. All right. We're leaving that fentanyl stuff in the back.
A mí solo heroin y meth y cristal. This is dope on me.
Exactly. We want the old school stuff.
Fuck, dude. No, but I asked that too because I feel like there's always like a different POV from different perceptions, right? They're just like, oh, it's musico. He definitely has this, or he does this, or does that, like drugs or estudiant.
They assume that we all do drugs, bro.
No, but I can confirm that you guys don't. So every time we would go to a gig, even though if you guys would come back at 7 a.m. but had something to do at 9, you guys will wake up and we'll just have like 2 cups of coffee.
The coffee, bro. Coffee's is your biggest lifesaver.
The one in Miami, remember we took like 3 shots of espressos. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, dude.
Me and Nadir, we took like 3 cubanos. I don't know what they said. It was cafecito. But then the lady kept making like little samples. She gave us like 2 shots and then a cup up beforehand. And I was fucking wired. I was like, fuck, my eyes were peeled, bro. I was like, damn.
Dude, coffee is a miracle drug.
I think it's actually good social too. I love coffee, dude. I love the mornings too. Pero, I mean, I want to get a little bit more personal if it's okay with you.
Sure.
Because I talk about grupos, so I'm just like, if you're ready to, but if not, you can change it.
So my favorite color is blue. I don't know. Or what was the question?
I mean, what's it called? Well, let me ask you this. What's one of the biggest things that músicos fight in grupos? Like, what's one thing that, why number one thing the bands always fight?
I think choice of songs. I think that's the biggest thing. Because everyone has their own idea of what they want the grupo to be. Whether you're the bass guy, drummer, accordion singer, everyone has their own perception of what they picture their grupo becoming.
Okay.
You know, one guy, he watches Peso Pluma and he wants to be like Peso Pluma. So he wants to play music like Peso Pluma. And then another guy listens to Conjunto Primavera and wants it to sound like them. Another guy wants to sound like Duelo. Another guy wants to sound like this. So you have all these different people that want to sound like this or maybe like that, or they're inspired by this or by that. And then there's even the guys that they just want to have their own sound. But like the point is, everyone wants to have a different sound, they want to become somebody different. That's why you'll always, like, if you ever see the comments of videos and stuff, there's always going to be someone complaining. Esta música es basura, whatever. Like, you got to listen to the old stuff. And then you go to the old stuff, and then there's people that are just like, this is like, you know, this, like tocan de la verga or whatever. Like,
right.
There's always gonna be someone complaining. There's always gonna be somebody, and it's usually a lot of just older people just saying, oh, the old stuff's better. Well, the new generation wants new stuff. So it has a lot to do with who they're inspired by, who they admire, and what they want out of the grupo, you know? So maybe one of them wants the grupo to sound like, you know, more old school. So they'll sound more old school. That's why right now in Chicago, lo que está sonando más is lo chaca.
Yeah.
Chaca. And even in California too, like lo chaca, right? But then like there's grupos that are doing really well, like Le Mans, Cabros, and then like Vanguardia, Hector de Reme. And so like you take them as an example. They all have a different sound. Le Mans has their own unique sound, and then I see a lot of grupos that want to sound like Le Mans. Mm-hmm. And then there's other grupos that want to sound more old school, like Conjunto Primavera. Then there's another one that wants to sound like what's the name of that one grupo? Intocable.
Yeah.
So Inicial, saludos. They sound a lot like Intocable. Like I remember somebody's like, "What's that one grupo's name that sounds like Intocable?" And I immediately knew who it was because they're the only ones in Chicago that want to sound like that. And they're doing great. They're doing great. You know, they have a lot of work. But basically, you look at it that way. Like everyone has their own version of what they want the grupo to become. So when you look at it that way, it's like it's hard to not argue about something. Because at that point, it's like, oh, yeah, like, I want it to sound like this. And then the other guy's like, well, I want it to sound like this or whatever. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that drives them apart, you know?
So, I mean, the reason why I asked this is because I'm just like, I mean, everything ended in good terms and stuff, I want to say. But it's just like when you pivoted out with La Reserva, like you left, it was after 5 years, right? 6 years? 5?
5 going on 6.
5. Okay, 5 going on 6. First of all, there's a couple questions I want to ask. Like, one, identity. Because I feel like even if you do a sport or anything for such a while and then you have to try something new, I feel like there's an identity crisis because a lot of doors open, bro.
Yeah.
And second is just like, what made you make that final decision as yourself? Just like, you know, I want. It's like for example, Hector Leme, he left Vanguardia.
Right.
But you can arguably say at the peak or maybe at the downfall. Who knows, right?
Right.
But he wanted something fresh and it's working out for him. So for you, when you were leaving La Reserva, what in your mind you're just like, one, what did you think? And then second, just like, what made you execute that decision?
It's more like I was just like we always had different ideas. Like I mean, it's kind of hard to dispute the fact that we had different ideas because in the beginning when we formed the grupo, well he formed it, right, and I just joined in later. When I joined in, we had kind of the same idea. Like okay, we're doing covers, we want to get famous, blah blah blah, right? And I guess in the beginning we didn't even think about getting famous. We just wanted to sound good and make music, make money, and have fun.
And you were 25.
I forgot how old I was. Yeah, just about 25. So basically, it was like there was no expectations. It was just we're just two guys playing in a grupo, having fun, and slowly improving, slowly getting better because we didn't even know what we were doing. I learned requinto, like because our requinto guy left. So like there was another guy first, Julian, and he ended up leaving, I think about a year or two in after I joined in. So nos quedamos like without requinto, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to learn it, and I have a requinto. So I told him, I'm like, F it, I'll jump in. I'll do it. I'll figure it out. And now I'm where I'm at. You know, I figured it out, got it all down. And so basically it was more like we didn't have any expectations in the beginning. It was just more like we're just doing the same thing. We're doing something we like to do, and we're making money, and who cares, you know? Then we started taking it a little more serious once we signed with like Colony Music. From there forward, it was I want to say from that line, like if you were to just highlight a day where everything changed, from there forward, that's when it started like como que there was I feel and like I could be wrong, but I feel like the pressure kept getting to Adel. You know, like the pressure kept getting to him where he just like we need to make it, and it's like, bro, like relax, like well, todo a su tiempo, like we're gonna make it, but you know, I think at a certain point you can't force results in certain situations. It's kind of like you can have a bad product and try to sell it, but like if it's a bad product, then you need to improve your product before you try to push it out there. Because if not, you're just burning through money, you're burning through resources for nothing, you know, or whatever. Like I felt like we needed to polish our music more or whatever. But there was a lot of like, just kind of, I feel like the pressure would just get to him a lot. So there was always a lot of like arguments, you know. I'd be like, chill, relax, you know. Like we're steadily improving. We're like this. We're like a slow, like a good stock. Like maybe a little down, maybe a little up. Like it's never gonna be straight up. Like that's not how life works. You get better. You might have a bad week, bad day. Maybe then you get better again. You come back, bounce back even better. Then you have a day where like I don't know, you drink too much, so now
Major dip.
you had a bit, you had a little dip, but then you came back up and you got better, and boom. And it's just we're not. It's not linear improvement.
Huh.
It's like a stock, and so
Do you think everything went downhill after signing for the Colony? Or at least like not downhill, but all.
it didn't go downhill, but the dynamic changed.
Okay.
It was no longer, oh, we're having a good time, we're making music, we're just having fun, making money at the same time. It was more like there was a like almost too much pressure.
Okay.
Like there was too much pressure, and you would notice. I would notice it anyways, because I would be like, you need to relax. Like we're winning. And I said this in several podcasts. Like sometimes we think about it too much, where we're like, oh my god, we need to get famous. We need to get famous. I'm like, dude, we're winning already. We're doing what we love to do. We're making music, making money. People know us. We're playing in out of state. We're playing out of country too. We're playing in Mexico. I'm like, dude, who else can go and say that? Nobody can even say they've done it. And we're meeting people. We're getting connections. Like, dude, we were in places most people don't get to go. And I'm like, dude, we're winning. This is like all dubs. I don't see why you can't see a dub and be like, I'm grateful for this. You need to be grateful for what you have, so before you get more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you're just sitting there like, no, like, I'm not grateful for this. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not enough. Like, it's fine. It's okay to want more,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to be grateful for what you have, you know? And that's kind of what I would say in podcasts when we would be in podcasts together and stuff. And I was just like, well, you know, at a certain point, the pressure was just too much where, like, things were being said that shouldn't have, that were kind of being out of context, or were a little too out there, where it's like I had to just draw my line. You know what? From here forward, I'm out.
Okay.
I'm moving on. Like at the end of the day, like you got to respect yourself enough to leave certain situations if they get to that point.
So well, you guys ended in good terms. Like business is business, right?
Right.
And friendship. Let's put it like that, right? Because there's just no bad blood. Like regardless, deep down, no bad blood. But I wanted to say, when you left, the identity shift, right? Because that's all you knew, música en el grupo, right?
Right.
What was like the identity shift for you, or how did you take it, at least in your eyes, when you just said, "Wow, like this, that's in the past. What's new?"
Like what? Wait, say it again.
Like an identity shift, because you know when everything comes to an end, now you start like there's a new beginning, new chapter.
Right.
It doesn't mean your musical career ended unless you wanted to,
Right.
but like now, like the doors open wide, and now you have more connections. Now you have all these stuff, like you said, you played out of state. There's so much. The world's yours. So like, what was that shift for you?
It's kind of weird right now because, like I said, I'm focusing more on business right now.
Yeah.
I'm putting a lot of focus on business because I don't want. I'm tired of worrying about money. Because that was another thing that would kind of put a strain towards the end. That like 2024 was a bit of a slow year. I think for a lot of people it was.
I like grupos, not you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, 2024 was like, it was a shock to me. I was like, whoa, what's going on? This is my worst year yet. And in both businesses, like all my businesses in Las Tocadas, and also in my business with cars.
Blush.
Yeah, they want to come out.
The boogie sugar.
No, but like, so there was a little bit of strain on money, and I think that also creates additional pressure. You know, like, oh my God, like we're making less money too, and but yeah, like it just felt worse. Something felt off about last year, when it came to money, and so then I had to focus more on work. And that was another point. They got mad at me because like I was like, well, I still work, like I still gotta pay shit, you know, and I can't let my business just go to crap, you know. I gotta take care of it. And but they wanted me to focus more over here, and I'm like I can only put so much. Like I gotta pay bills, and we're not making money over here right now, so you gotta have your safety net, you know. But for the most part, it was a bad year. 2024 slow, like it slowed down, and then this year just it started off slow too. And I was like, you know what, like we went to events last year where I was like, damn, like I want to go. I do want to go, but I don't have any money, or I it's not in my budget, and I would have to go into my savings or whatever. Like I have my budget, and I don't like to overspend. I pay off all my credit cards right away. I never carry balances, things like that. But I knew that if I did certain things, I had to start digging into my savings, and I was like, I don't want to do that because that's a slippery slope, and just gets worse and worse. Because once you say it's okay once, it's okay again, and it's okay again. So I was like, no, I don't want to go, but todo para la fama, todo para ser famoso, right? Whatever. So, and I did things that cost me a lot of money last year, and I guess the thing that kind of pissed me off about that was the fact that, like, when you go, like, for example, if I went somewhere, I didn't make money because I didn't work, and on top of that, you're spending money getting there, so you lose twice the amount of money, like,
And time.
and this is for all those people that love going on vacation and don't get paid time off. You're losing double the amount of money when you go on vacation, because you're spending and you're not earning. And bills don't wait for anyone. So you got to save a good amount. But yeah, like me personally, I hated that, and I was like, I need to find a way to monetize these trips or something, some type of way to be able to still pay my bills and not have to go into my savings, not have to. It doesn't have to cost me as much.
So what is the biggest time waster promoting your music then? Because I feel like you guys went to a lot of podcasts and did a lot of shows, but either they don't release it or there's no promoting behind it, and you guys are spending money going to these events.
I don't think podcasts are a waste of time. What's a waste of time is when we go to a podcast and they ask the same questions.
Hopefully I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's why I was telling you, like, dude, the podcasters or the interviewers that ask the same questions over and over again, like, change it up. Nobody knows us, so don't treat us like we're already known. Like we're already known. You need to treat us like nobody knows us, and you kind of have to get us out there.
Yeah.
Or even the podcasts. Some of the podcasts are not even well known. Some of them have low followers or low numbers.
Not even posting. I've seen them.
They don't post, and then they do one podcast, and it's like, well, we're not gonna be able to make it blow up. I mean, maybe you could, right? You could have a viral moment in there, but for the most part, like, you gotta be interesting. That's the main thing. You gotta be interesting. You can't just come in the podcast, and then the interview asks you, oh, where are you from? How'd you guys meet? And how many women did you get? Boom. Like, those are the same questions every single podcast. And I'm like, bro, it's not interesting. I don't know. Ask something else. Like, do a little game segment. Do something. Something interesting. Something different. Because all those same questions are on everyone other person's podcast. And guess what? They have the same numbers. 10 views, 100 views. That's it.
Right.
And it doesn't do well, because they ask the same stuff.
It's the same thing, just saturated more.
Yeah.
That's what makes me upset. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, now that you have more experience in the game and you're not scared to actually go there, because, dude, like, you have nothing to lose.
Right.
You started a brand new one. So what's the thing when you just told Adiel, hey, this is done, I want to do my own thing? Like, how did he take it, you think, in your opinion?
Well, it was kind of weird because, like I said, we had a conflict in ideas or whatever. Like, to be honest, they kind of got mad over something very little that had nothing to do with anything. Like, and if we go, and I got witnesses, so they can ask the witnesses, but what we argued about that day had nothing to do with anything relevant with the music or how we go about, like, getting famous or none of that. It was kind of stupid. It was a stupid argument, to be honest. But it got to a point where they basically kind of said, hey, you know what? Like, you either got to change or you got to go. And I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. I know I didn't, because, like, the way I am is I say the truth how it is. I speak my mind, and I usually don't do it in a bad way. I try to give it in a digestible way. And but I don't know. I guess that day they took it a little too personal or something. But I always give the truth no matter what, because I think that when you give the truth, it can be constructive criticism to you, or you can just take it up the booty hole. It's up to you, but it's the truth. And as a boy, as friends, I'm always gonna tell you the truth.
For sure.
So if your breath stinks, I'm gonna tell you, hey, bro, your breath is on hundreds.
I gotta do something better about it.
Go get some mints or something.
Stop eating less. No, yeah.
Or something, like that's, but I never say it in a bogus way. I always try to say it in a digestible way. But something about it just pissed them off, and they told me I gotta change or I gotta leave. And I was like, well, I didn't say anything outlandish. I didn't say anything that I think was even bad, like out of character or bad or out of malice. I think that's the most important thing. It's not out of malice. Like I said things that were true, but they didn't want to hear it. They told me, no, nomás estás dando pretexto. And I'm like, okay. And then, so I was like, all right, well, if you're not even going to allow me to even explain myself or talk things through, because they didn't let me talk. First off, they didn't even let me talk.
Right.
They basically teamed up against me. But I was like, okay, well, if they're not going to let me talk, then this is no longer a partnership. This is more of like, you do what we say, and I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I thought we were partners, so I'm out.
So if you were to go back 6 years later, and Adiel again asked you, knowing what you know already, and he asked you, do you want to join La Reserva? Would you still say yes?
I mean, I don't regret it. I think we did a lot of good things. I think we had a good time doing it. And I know that no matter what, like I'll always look back and be like, we did the best we could in every single aspect of life. We did the best we could in every single aspect of business. And we got pretty far. So I don't think we did it. I don't regret any decision. And if I had to change course, I would let it go. I would let it run its course, because it was still, like I said, in the beginning, it was amazing. It was fun. It was a great time. When we started wanting to get famous, like I still learned a lot of things. I try not to take things personal. So I always try to so even though we had our arguments, it was kind of like, it's fine. Like, it's just an argument, whatever. Like, who cares, Move on. So, like, anyone that's actually worked with us knows that, like, me and him would always bump heads because we have different opinions of things all the time. And I think that no matter what grupo you're going to be in, there's always going to be arguments. It's going to be differences. And just like any loving relationship, you're going to have arguments, differences, and there's going to be fights. But that's why you got to keep it within, keep it within.
So what is the difference you think is why you guys, let's just say, like, I'm putting you guys in categories, how, I don't want to keep bringing Vanguardia up, but Los Cabros that are actually genuinely like their music, what's the difference between them and then you guys? And then someone like Los Preferidos de Vale, they only have a year, but pegando más, and honestly, they're charging more than you guys. Or when you were in the group, they charge more. So
I mean, I'll be real. When it comes to Cabros, they've been in the game way longer than all of us.
Okay.
Like, maybe, I don't know how long Boyo's been in. I forgot. But for the most part, like, the Cabros has been in the game since they were little, bro. They're brothers. They're all brothers. I think, or maybe even one of them's a cousin. I forgot. But they're all family. And they've had this grupo since, bro, like, I think I saw some videos where they were playing as kids or something like that.
How old are they right now?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
But then you have people like Los Preferidos de Baile and all these other new grupos like Diferente Frecuencia and all this. But what's the difference between you guys and them? Like, why is there like a chispa not there? You know what I mean? Is it just favoritism for the promoters?
I don't think so, because it has a lot to do with how, like, you connect with the people. And that's the thing. Like, these, like, Diferente Frecuencia is a really good example. They're very good at social media, and they connect with the people really good. They know how to connect. Like, they may not be like, Peso Pluma famous, but dude, they have a lot of followers. They're doing good. They get a lot of views, and it's because they know how to connect to the people. They know how they know a good hook. Like, a good video is a good hook and a good story or whatever, And they take things that are trending, they make it work. And they know what people want to see right now. And, the thing is, the difference there would be like, I guess people just don't resonate with the style we were putting out, That's why I was constantly just like, let's try something else. Let's try something different. Try a different angle, different type of music, different this, different that. Like, always try to find a new angle, because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results, well, good luck.
Do you think that the lead singer or the singer should be the one to getting all the recognition, or do you think now, since you're not part of a grupo, it should be another position, or at least the one that puts the most effort? I say that because I see in some grupos the lead singers, like Los Preferidos de Vale, I feel like the accordion player is the one that gets them all the recognition.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked that question. But then in more grupos, it's always the singer, even though if they were just added in.
Yeah.
I just want to see your POV on it.
I think that no matter what, the singer's always going to get more recognition, because he's the forefront of the grupo. He's always going to be the face of the grupo, the forefront. And I always said it, and I always told it to these guys. I was like, I would tell him, dude, you gotta make content. You gotta make content because you are the singer. Like, I can make content all day, but the thing is, I'm not singing. I'm doing segunda voz, right? So, but I'm not doing primera voz. So how am I gonna convince these people to go listen to a song that I'm not singing? It's not the same. It's like I'm trying to sell something that I'm not selling, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. Yeah,
it feels weird. Like, it's very incongruent. That's the best word to say. So I would always tell them, dude, like, as a singer, you kind of have that responsibility of being in front of the camera, being there and connecting with people. Because if the bass guy is always connecting with people, or the drummer's always connecting with people, well, then they're gonna like the drummer, but that doesn't mean they're gonna like the music.
Right.
So, because the drums could be good, but music has a lot to do with them liking the actual, like, how they sing, what they say.
So let me put you here on the hot seat then. And we can cut this out, you don't have to answer, but what's one overrated grupo, and then what's one grupo that doesn't get enough recognition? Because we're always gonna get the same ones.
That one's gonna be kind of hard, because, like, to be honest, I don't put a lot of attention to other grupos, like, not enough. I put some attention when it comes to social media, because I look at social media presence, what other people are doing, find trends, and try to make it work. But when it comes to actually, like, I don't know, like tocando and stuff, like, I'm not really sure, because I don't see them play. But, like, I don't know, man. It's a good question. Who's overrated? I mean, to be honest, that's a good question. I didn't think about that. But, like, I want to say a lot of people think they're underdogs, but they're not. They don't post enough or whatever. And, like, there's a lot of grupos that say, oh, they just don't hire us because we don't have that many followers. Like, trust me, these promoters they kind of don't care if you have followers. They care if you have presence online. They want to make sure that you are able to pull people. You can have no followers but have good views, and they'll hire you.
Wow.
I know that for a fact. So underdogs, I mean, it's hard to be an underdog, because if you're an underdog, somebody that deserves more, then you're probably posting a lot more, and then you're gonna get recognized. I think we're in a day and age where if you put the work in, you're gonna get results, and if you don't put the work in, you're not gonna get results, and you're not an underdog, And that's one thing I always see is, like, if you don't put the work in on social media, you're probably not putting the work in on your music. So I think, I don't know, underdogs, I can't think of any. But I'm excited for Los Leos de Chicago, though. They're back.
Los Leos de Chicago?
Yeah, they're back. And I think they went hard. I'm still trying to think who could I consider overrated. I can't think.
Let me ask you this, and I'm gonna put you, because you know all of them. That's why I asked you, because I know it's no bad luck.
Yeah.
You have to pick one grupo to pay to see in Chicago, and these are the three ones: Los de la Homen, Los Cabros, or Los Vagos HP.
But I have to pay.
You you just have to go to one. You
See, I
have to
don't-
choose one.
No, a mí no me gusta pagar.
If you had to go choose one, te pagan el boleto a ti.
Man.
Pagar.
Oh man, I guess that was tough. I mean, I've already seen Cabros and Vagos, so I'll probably go see Homan, bro. Cause like I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them play live yet. Like,
For real?
I think once, like back in Mansion, a while back, but that was like it was a long time ago already.
Damn.
So like I'm just trying to think of like I feel like they gotta have something. But if it's not Homans, it's definitely Cabros, cause Cabros, bro, they go hard. I remember the first time I heard them, bro, I popped my phone out. I was like, yeah, these guys go hard.
The accordion dude, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Compa Willie, like, I remember when they first came here, bro. They were like when they first got pulled to Chicago by Vision. No, they've always been humble and chill and everything, and they play amazing. So,
well, let me say this. One of the last questions, yeah, that if you were pretty much, I kind of want to be personal, but then I don't want to be personal because I want to ask like some real direct ones. What is the shadiest things while you guys are trying to get a gig? What are the signs of where it's like no te van a pagar? I know you said that they say share the flyers, but
yeah,
you know, here in Chicago, we're talking. I want to say like we're talking about the big clubs. We're talking about the real promoters.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they've all paid. That's the thing. Like, it's never the big clubs that don't pay. It's always the little ones that are starting off that think, oh, like I'm not making money, so I got to tell these guys I can't pay or whatever. Like it's always the little guys, man. I haven't had a big guy not pay. I mean, to be honest, if they're not gonna pay, they usually tell you straight up, hey, like we want you to play, pero que lo hagas de promoción. Like they'll ask you straight up. They'll just tell you, hey, we have an anniversary going on or something, and we all the grupos that come play, they play for free for the anniversary.
What is the best paying club in Chicago?
I mean that's the thing. We set our own prices, so
¿De verdad?
yeah.
Y someone never said no te vamos a pagar eso, no te vamos a rebajar.
Not that I know. Like they've all paid. Because the thing is, like I said, we put the work in, and I think they've recognized it. And when they recognize that you've put in the work, they pay.
That's
like
true.
I think there's only two modes to these type of people, because these people are not wishy-washy. They're like, we're making events, we're making money, so we got to get grupos that pull people or that play good or that I like. Because a lot of promoters, they hire people who they like. That's why there's a lot of preferential treatment where they'll put this grupo more often, because they put grupos they like. They like you as a grupo, they'll be like, yeah, hire him. Hey, I want you to come again this month or whatever. So for the most part, it's either they'll hire you and pay you what you're asking for, or they won't hire you because they don't like you, and they wouldn't even pay you what you're asking for.
Damn.
Because they don't like you. You know?
Well, Rambo GX, is there any questions you want to ask me? Because it's already an hour in.
Sheesh.
Se pasó el tiempo.
I mean, I guess my biggest question. See, now I'm the interviewer. All right,
Let's do it.
give me the laptop.
Let's do it. It's black screen.
Yeah.
It's just to keep this alive. Everyone's like, what kind of questions do you have? I'm like, I don't have questions.
All right. So my question here is, what actually got you into podcasts? What made you so interested in becoming a podcast?
Just, I mean, simple as this. The mind is just fascinates me. The way you think, why would you do it, why not to do it, the culture, the religion, everything, dude. I generally care about people's stories. Like, that's why I ask so many questions, because I love to learn, but I actually care about people. I actually think so. I'm a piece of shit. But at the end of the day, if someone has a cool story, I will listen. Because it actually interests me of why people. But then second part too, just like, dude, I mean, I feel like everyone has a voice. Everyone has a story to be told. Just simple as that. But that's why I love interviewing, man. I actually care about people's stories, and it fascinates me. I don't even care about interviewing celebrities. I just want to go around the world to even interview anyone. So if someone in the pyramids, a tourist guide or something, wants to be interviewed and I have to go to Egypt, that would be my dream, just to go to any country, because I don't want to have a niche of just staying. So I'm just like, everyone here in Chicago that's an interviewer or social media, you guys can be big here, and that's fine. And I'm not trying to throw shade, but it's just my process thinking. You can have Chicago. I want the world. And I want to travel and be paid around the world, because even before I was getting paid doing interviews on the streets, a dumb kid, that was the best time I've ever had in my life. I still have I have so much joy doing this right now.
Yeah.
Even if I know who you are because we're already boys, all the stories you told me or sauce or tips or anything, I actually process that, even if I agree or not, because I'm just like, well, I actually didn't even think about that. Or you told me about this 2 months ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just speaking as that.
Yeah.
I actually care about your perception of other things that I'm not witnessing, because I'm just like, well, that's how you do business. Okay. If I imply that, I don't know, just stuff like that interests me.
Yeah.
Like, that's why. I think that's why I like podcasting and interviewing.
Yeah. And you're moving to Miami, I see right here in about a month or two. And what are your top 3 interviews that you want to do in Miami? Like do you have any specific goals in mind? Like, you want to interview the specific person?
One, I definitely want to get into like just the entrepreneurship side, because I feel like just money, it's easy to get it. Maintain is the toughest part.
Okay.
And I feel like that's a misconception everyone has. Because right now, if you wanted to, you can make $500 for 1,000, right?
Right.
Anyone can. I want to say. But then the thing is keeping it, because people just want to save, and not multiply. And I don't want to overshare what the plans that we have going on right now, right? Like, that's the secret sauce for us.
Yeah.
But people don't know how to multiply that, and they're scared to take risk. That's what I want to do, one. And then the other two is just pretty much just like the lifestyle, bro. Everyone gets it like, oh, I want to go to Miami because I want to be rich. I want to flex on clubs and all this stuff. But I'm like, is the goal to look rich, or the goal actually just to wake up and say no to people and just do what you want?
To tell your boss,
That too, man. Honestly.
I'm out. I quit.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's just a simple question as that.
Yeah. And then who's your like your dream interview? Like, you want to interview this person? Like, this is your like your biggest goal right now?
My biggest interview I really want to say, it's going to be very generic, or just a simple one. But I think it changed. It actually would be Dana White.
Dana White?
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves pressure and applies pressure. And honestly, I feel like he's one of a kind mindset, where he actually, I don't know, Brian, he's just a demon. Dude's just a demon.
Sheesh.
Just a different way of thinking.
You're going to have to put him on your vision board.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, bro. I mean, he's just a different breed. I feel like people like that really, yeah. I would say I have other people in mind, but Dana White just is different. No tiene llenadero.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are the type of people you really want. You want those to mentor you. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, bro.
Well, thanks for coming onto the podcast.
Thank you, Rambogx. It's been a pleasure for you having me on here.